West for Kedar, there is a small continent called Thiliaras. Thiliaras is a special place, inhabited by all kinds of creatures. Unlike Kedar, Thiliaras is not home to any humans, but instead inhabited by elves. Creatures that might resemble humans from afar, but as you get closer, the difference between a human and an elf is clear. They have long, pointy ears with silky smooth hair. They are considerably taller and handsome than most humans, and use a lot of spells and tomes unknown to mankind. The slums and poor districts of Thiliaras is home to the Valyas elves. These are considered lower in society, usually working as craftsmen with a lower income than the common elves. They are shorter than the normal elves and have even longer ears than usual, with a bluish tone to their skin. Most of the continent is ruled by the Lorien Empire, except for the few tribes and outcast kingdoms in the far corners of the realm. The Lorien Emperor Herdwort IV passed away last year at the age of 65 and left his empire in the hands of his only son Freemund, a weak, naive young man with no common sense but has a rightful claim on the throne after all. After his coronation, unrest started brewing in the Lorien Empire as news about a challenger for the throne was quickly spreading. Freemund's cousin, Urien, saw Freemund as a weak and unambitious man, willing to put himself in front of the empire, and with a strong passion and an unbreakable ambition, Urien himself swore to challenge Freemund's claim and do everything he could to overthrow him. Urien is a proud member of the Lorien household, and would do everything in his power to show the people what a true Lorien could be. Freemund, however, is not interested in using his family name for acknowledgement, but rather rule the way the people want him to, even if this will cost him and his family their pride and fortune. The people could slowly notice a clear difference in economy after Freemund was crowned. It is clear that Freemund has no certain knowledge of stewardship nor diplomacy, but is rather fascinated by small things as art and music. His character resembles a cultural patron rather than that of a king, and in Urien's eyes, this is a problem that needs to be solved, the easy way or the brutal way. Urien attended several meetings with Freemund and tried to solve this by blackmail or manipulation, but nothing managed to go to Freemund's naive brain. He simply was uninterested in Urien's claims or solutions. This very ignorance and lack of leadership is what motivated Urien to finally gather his troops and plan an attack on Fort Ungar in the southern part of Lorien. After an unexpected assault, Urien and his troops conquered the fort and made it their stronghold. In Fort Ungar, Urien and his council started planning numerous siege plans and assaults. Urien was not only a manipulative man with stable troops, he also had the charm and charisma to persuade mayors and barons to submit to him, as well as the common peasants. After only months, Urien had gotten himself the support of half the realm, and for the first time in decades, Lorien was split in two. With the traditionalists led by Freemund and the reformists led by Urien, war was brewing and a confrontation between the two on the battlefield was inevitable at this point. At the battle known as the Bloodbound Clash, Urien managed to capture Freemund's marshal and general, Ithrias. With Freemund's general out of the way, Urien laid siege to the capital city, Loranger, and declared himself Emperor of Lorien. Freemund, however, managed to escape alive with the help of his loyal nobility. His whereabouts is now unknown. With Urien as Emperor, the common elves' income and life quality improved greatly. This sudden improvement was unfortunately at the cost of the Valyas elves' economy and structure, making them even poorer than they were. Every day a new Valyas lose their job, their house, or sometimes their life. The economic difference between Valyas and common elves are growing wider and wider, and the slums are on the verge of collapsing. Urien's belief in eradicating the rotten parts of society, whatever that means, is starting to become reality, and we are looking at the dawn of a new age where the common elves are united as one. All of this happened in the winter of the year 370 in the Third Age, 3 months before Galder arrived in Thiliaras. When Urien conquered Loranger and claimed the crown, he called every nobleman and leader from all parts of Thilliaras into one large meeting. He called it the Assembly of the Loranger Congress. In this formal meeting, he was planning to deliver a speech that would triumph any royal meeting ever held throughout history. He would use his persuasive abilities and manipulative nature to secure support in his reign and, together with the other nobles from the realm, further oppress the Valias elves.
Noblemen, from all corners of the world, I have gathered you here to state that from now on, you will look at Thiliaras as an opportunity rather than a country. Together, we can finally restore the Lorian Empire and bring back our supreme culture that once ruled these lands. We will focus on forming an empire without filth in our streets, without disgust in our crowds. The Valias have dishonored our culture's name for too long. We need to make sure that they won't have the chance to develop any further. We will prohibit any Valias from entering our districts and keep our people safe. No matter the lineage, occupation, or title, Valias is inferior to us. Let's make the Lorian Empire shine once again.
Surprisingly, everyone attending the assembly applauded Urien's coronation speech. But the reason for this was neither to support him or motivate him. They were simply forced to. Behind every noble there was placed a guard ready to draw their blade at any moment, making sure that Urien's word was final, and that his wish was their command. Fremond is nowhere to be seen. What will happen, no one can tell. This is Thiliaras. This is where our story begins.